Ahoy, matey! Aye.
Hoist the sail!
Huzzah!
Ahoy there, ye bold seekers of the strange and unexplained. Welcome aboard the Bloody Gull, the finest vessel to ever sail the shadowed waters of the unknown. I'm Captain Jebediah Blackwater, pirate, wanderer, and your guide through the murky depths where legend and truth collide.
Hoist the Jolly Roger! Batten down the hatches!
Each week we set our course for the uncharted seas of mystery, where ghost ships drift, ancient curses linger, and secrets older than the ocean itself await discovery. From tales of the deep to whispers of forgotten worlds, there's no riddle too dark or storm too fierce for this crew.
Hooray! Shiver me timbers! Full ahead!
So tighten your lines, ready your hearts, and keep your wits sharp, 'cause the sea's got its secrets, and she won't give 'em up without a fight. Now, let's weigh anchor and dive into the unknown.
To sail the seas with Captain Jebediah Blackwater is to flirt with the unknown, to wrestle the very winds of fate. But of all his exploits, none cast a shadow darker than the clash with the infamous Iron-hooked Drake over the cursed treasure of the Isle of Wailing Tides. This, dear listener, is the harrowing tale of the cursed treasure of Iron-hooked Drake, a tale of greed, betrayal, and a ghostly curse that still haunts the high seas. It began with a storm, violent and relentless. The Bloody Gull was battered but unbroken, her captain and crew pressing on through the tempest, drawn by whispers of unimaginable riches. A map gifted by a dying sailor in a tavern had led Captain Jeb and his crew to these dangerous waters. But what they sought was no ordinary treasure. It was a chest said to hold the wealth of kings and the wrath of the damned.
Easy now, lads. Keep her steady as she cuts through this cursed fog. That island ahead, aye? That's the Isle of Wailing Tides. Mark it well, for there be no turning back once we set foot on its shores.
The isle rose from the ocean like a jagged tooth, its cliffs slick with sea spray and its sands grey as ash. Legend spoke of wailing spirits that haunted its shores, warning away all who dared approach. But the promise of gold weighed heavier on the hearts of Jeb's crew than the fear of phantoms.
Spread out, mates, but keep your blades sharp and your wits sharper. That chest won't be sitting out in the open, waiting for the likes of us. Captain, we've hit something.
Buried beneath layers of rock and earth lay the chest, a thing of dark beauty, its wood blackened and its iron fittings etched with symbols that seemed to writhe under the torchlight.
By the stars, it's real. But hold, mates, there's something wrong about it. Look at them carvings. No good ever came from markings like these. Gold's gold, Captain. Let's haul it back to the Gull.
Despite his better judgment, Jeb allowed the chest to be loaded aboard. But as the crew celebrated, the wind shifted, and a familiar silhouette appeared on the horizon. The Black Tempest.
Shiver me timbers! All hands on deck!
You're blasted all. Iron-hooked Drake always sniffing around like a shark for blood. Man the guns, ye scurvy dogs. Let's show 'em what the Bloody Gull is made of.
Drake was relentless, his ship a hulking mass of iron and firepower. The Black Tempest bore down on the gull, her cannons roaring as grappling hooks tore through sails and railings.
Hold your ground, lads. Keep fighting, but don't let that chest fall into Drake's hands.
As the battle raged, Jeb realized the only way to survive was to rid himself of the cursed treasure. Under a flag of truce, he offered the chest to Drake, his voice dripping with feigned defeat.
You want the chest so badly, Drake? Take it. Let it be your undoing.
Drake, blinded by greed, accepted the prize without hesitation. He sailed away, his ship trailing victory cheers, but his triumph was short-lived.
That night the sea went quiet. Too quiet. Then came the wailing. Not the wind, not the waves, but something else entirely.
Captain, look off the starboard side.
There it was, the Black Tempest, but no longer a ship of wood and iron. It was a spectre, its hull glowing with an unearthly light, its sails tattered and burning with ghostly fire.
Drake, he's dead. And now his soul's chained to that cursed chest. But why is he coming for us?
The curse, it seemed, did not discriminate. Having passed the treasure on to Drake, Jeb had become a part of its dark legacy. The Black Tempest pursued the gull, a shadow in the fog, its ghostly crew howling for revenge.
Faster, ye dogs! Put as much water between us and that wretched thing as ye can. But mark me words, we'll never be rid of it completely.
Though the bloody gull escaped that night, the curse lingered. Wherever Jeb sailed, the ghostly ship was not far behind. Its glowing hull appeared in the distance during calm seas, its phantom crew whispering Jeb's name in the dead of night.
I've learned me lesson, mates. Some treasures ain't worth the taking, but the sea, she never forgets, and neither does Ironhook Drake.
And so Captain Jeb sails on, a man marked by the curse of greed and the wrath of a rival. Be aware the lure of cursed riches, dear listeners, for the sea claims all debts in the end.
So remember this tale, me hearties, next time a glimmer of gold tempts your soul. For what's lost to the sea often carries a price no man should pay. Ahoy there, me salty sailors of the strange. Gather round the glowing lantern and welcome aboard seas of mystery with me, Captain Jebediah Blackwater. Tonight we hoist the sails and set our compass toward the shadowy tales of cursed treasures lost to the briny deep. The waters be deep, the secrets darker, and the treasure, aye mates, the treasure be cursed. Now let me spin ye a yarn to set the mood. Picture this, a chest of glittering gold, nestled deep in a cavern where the air feels heavy, as if the very earth warns ye to leave. The first sailor to lay his hands on it finds his fortune high, but also his doom. Strange accidents follow, whispers in the night, and one by one the crew vanishes. What price would ye pay for riches, me hearties? And how far would ye go before the curse took its toll? Tonight's voyage takes us from the infamous Oak Island treasure, where traps and curses guard what lies beneath, to the cursed Aztec gold that inspired more than just a few legends of the high seas. We'll hear tales of wrecks where greed brought ruin and jewels that carry doom like barnacles on a hull. But fear not, ye won't face these waters alone. We've got your letters with stories that'll make even the boldest buccaneers shiver. Your calls will bring tales from far and wide, and I'll be sitting down with Dr. Eleanor Graves, an expert on cursed artifacts, to unravel the truth behind these deadly plundered prizes. Aye, it'll be a night of peril and mystery fit for the bravest of souls. You know, mates, the sea herself can be a cruel mistress. She gives with one hand and takes with the other. For every coin found, there's a tale of bloodshed. For every relic pulled from the briny deep, there's a curse that leaves its mark. It makes a man wonder, be it the treasure that's cursed or the hearts of those who seek it. So as we navigate tonight's tales, I want ye to think long and hard about the real price of greed. Be it gold, jewels, or power, what would ye give and what would ye lose for a chance at fortune? Aye, the answers may be as murky as the depths will explore. But I'll not leave ye to ponder without company. We've tales aplenty to fill your sails and keep ye from drifting into the doldrums. So grab your charts, pour a mug of grog, and settle in. Tonight's seas promise a journey like no other. Aye, before we plunge into the depths, here be a word from one of our loyal sponsors. Listen close, mates, for these fine folks help keep seas of mystery sailing smooth.
There be no need to wake up groggy as a deckhand on the morning watch. Start your day like a true buccaneer with Davy Jones' dark roast coffee. A brew so bold it'll make ye feel like ye conquered the seven seas. Crafted from the finest beans this side of the Caribbean, Davy Jones' dark roast packs a punch as strong as a nor'easter and as smooth as the calm after the storm. Some say it's cursed to make lesser brews taste like bilge water. But fear not, lads and lasses. The only curse here is your inability to stop drinking this delicious elixir. Whether ye be swabbing the deck, navigating treacherous waters, or telling tales by the fire, Davy Jones' dark roast keeps your spirit lively and your wits sharp. Order now and get a free captain's mug with your first shipment. Just use the code BLACKWATER at checkout. But don't tarry. The sea waits for no one, and neither does this deal.
That's Davy Jones' dark roast coffee, mates. Fuel for the fearless. Now back to tonight's cursed tales. Gather round, mates, and let old Captain Jeb spin ye a yarn about one of the most perplexing mysteries the seven seas have ever known. Oak Island, the very heart of Nova Scotia's wild and stormy coast. Now this ain't just any bit of land. Nay, this be a place steeped in shadow and shrouded in secrets, where treasure hunters and scholars alike have fought against time, tide, and an ancient curse to uncover its hidden truths. It all began in the year of 1795 when three lads, Daniel McGinnis, John Smith, and Anthony Vaughan, saw strange lights flickering in the distance. Like true adventurers, they followed the glow to Oak Island, where they found a peculiar depression in the ground. Above it, an old tackle block dangled ominously from a sturdy tree. Aye, it were almost like the island was inviting them to dig. And dig they did. 10 feet down, they hit wooden planks, a platform, if you will. Every 10 feet below that, another platform. What were the strange construction? A vault to guard untold riches, or a trap laid by cunning hands to keep intruders at bay? As the boys dug deeper, the pit began to fill with water. A deadly booby trap sprung, likely meant to deter any who dared to steal what lay below. This was no ordinary dig, mates. Nay, this pit had secrets woven into its very soil. Over the centuries, Oak Island has drawn treasure hunters from far and wide. They've sunk fortunes into uncovering its mysteries. Clues have surfaced, aye, tantalizing bits of evidence to whet the appetite of even the most skeptical. A stone tablet etched with cryptic carvings reading, or so it's claimed, 40 feet below, 2 million pounds lie buried. But who buried it and why? Now let's take a moment to ponder what might be hidden in that cursed soil. Some say it's the loot of Spanish galleons, gold stolen from the Americas. Others speak of the lost jewels of Marie Antoinette, spirited away during the French Revolution and hidden by loyalists. Then there's the wild notion of Templar secrets. Aye, lads and lasses, the Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant itself could lie in wait below that muddy surface. But what if it ain't treasure at all? What if Oak Island guards something darker? Some claim it's a portal to another realm, a place where mortal men have no business treading. Could it be the curse itself that's the true treasure? An ancient magic designed to keep greedy hands away? Aye, the mind reels at the possibilities. Now ye may have heard the tales of death that haunt this cursed isle. 7 souls have perished in the pursuit of its secrets. Aye, it's said the curse demands one more before the treasure can be revealed. The question, mates, is, who'll be the 8th? Will it be some plucky adventurer with a thirst for gold, or a scholar blinded by the quest for knowledge? Perhaps the curse ain't just taking lives. It's claiming the hearts and minds of those who dared to dream. And now I open the lines to ye, my trusty listeners. What say ye about the mystery of Oak Island? Have ye theories, tales, or encounters to share? First up, we've got a caller from Maine. Go ahead, mate. You're on with Captain Jeb.
Ahoy there, Captain Jeb. I've always thought the Templar theory holds water. Pardon the pun. Those tunnels sound like something only a secretive order with knowledge of engineering could pull off. I bet they were hiding something too powerful for the world to know.
Ah, fine theory, mate. The Templars were known for their secrets and their cunning. But tell me this, if the treasure be theirs, what do ye reckon they left behind to guard it? Surely not just water traps.
I think it's a guardian spirit, Captain. Something watching from the shadows, protecting what's sacred.
A chilling thought indeed. Thank ye for calling, lad. Next up, we've got a caller from Liverpool. What say ye, lass?
Good evening, Captain. I've always been fascinated by the idea that Oak Island's treasure isn't gold at all. It's knowledge. Maybe it's a lost map showing the way to Atlantis or the secrets of the stars.
Atlantis, ye say? Now there's a thought to stir the soul. If that be true, then Oak Island may be the start of something far greater. Thank ye kindly for sharing, lass. And so, me hearties, Oak Island remains an enigma. A place where history, myth, and the lure of treasure collide. Whether it be gold, knowledge, or something more sinister, the island's secrets lie tangled in the roots of the earth and the depths of the sea. Keep your eyes sharp and your hearts brave, for the mysteries of the deep are not for the faint of heart. Onward we sail.
Oh, gather round me, hearties, and I'll spin a yarn tonight of Captain Jeb and the Bloody Gull, a terror in the night. Through Through the Bermuda waters dark, their black flag flew so high. A crew of cutthroats laughing loud as cannonballs did fly. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum through cursed seas where the devils drum. Iron Hook Drake and his curse to gold, a treasure that swallows the brave and bold. Started with a merchant ship, its hull weighed down with loot, with silks and gems and golden coins and barrels full of fruit. Jeb cried, let's chase that prize, me lads, we'll drink until we burst. But none foresaw the triangle's jaws or the treasure's deadly curse. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum through cursed seas where the devils drum. Iron Hook Drake and his curse to gold, a treasure that swallows the brave and bold. Stormed aboard with blades and fire, their crew was swept aside. The bloody gull claimed every coin and laughed at Neptune's tide. But as the fog rolled in that night, the merchant ship did fade, and whispers told of Iron Hook Drake whose wrath could not be swayed. Oh, Iron Hook Drake with his eyes like flame, they say his ghost still haunts the main. His treasure's cursed, his soul unfree, and he claims the fools who dare the sea. We sailed away with heavy holds, the fog still in our wake, but every man aboard could feel the chill of Iron Hook Drake. The gold had gleamed but brought no joy, the crew began to fight as shadows danced upon the deck in the dead o' moonless night. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum through cursed seas where the devils drum. Iron Hook Drake and his cursed gold, a treasure that swallows the brave and bold. Bloody gull still sails the waves, but she's not what she once was. Her hull is full of ghostly gold, and her crew has lost its cause. Captain Jeb, he stands alone with a glint in his one good eye, and warns the world of cursed loot as the gull gives its ghostly cry. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum through cursed seas where the devils drum. Iron Hook Drake and his cursed gold, a treasure that swallows the brave and bold. Raise your glass to Jeb tonight and his haunted bloody gull. Through cursed waves and ghostly fog they brave the triangle's pull. But heed this tale, ye reckless lot, for the price of greed is steep, and Iron Hook Drake is waiting still where the triangle runs deep.
Now it's your turn, me hearties. Call in to the captain's quarters and share your tales of cursed treasures, eerie encounters, and the mystery of the deep. Let's take our first call.
Hi there, Captain Jeb. This is Tim from Charleston. I wanted to tell you about something my great-grandfather found. He was a diver and came across an old chest in a sunken Spanish galleon off the Florida Keys. When he opened it, there were these gold coins, but there was also this weird little idol made of black stone. He brought it home, but strange things started happening. Mirrors broke, our dog refused to go near the chest, and my great-grandfather became obsessed with the idol. He'd just sit and stare at it for hours. Then one day he disappeared, and the idol was gone too.
Tim, it sounds like you're kin-tangled with a cursed relic, a piece of gold tainted by greed or magic. Did ye ever try to learn more about the idol?
We found an old journal he kept. He wrote about feeling like he was being watched and hearing whispers all night. It still creeps me out.
Aye, lad, the sea don't give up her treasures lightly. Thanks for sharing, Tim. Let's take another call.
Hi, Captain Jeb. This is Marcy from New Orleans. I have a story about a necklace my aunt bought at an estate sale. She said it was supposedly salvaged from a shipwreck. After she brought it home, she started having nightmares about drowning. One night, she woke up gasping for air, and the necklace was ice cold, even though it was the middle of summer. She threw it into the Mississippi River the next day, and the nightmares stopped.
Smart lass. Some treasures be better off returned to the deep. Thanks for calling, Marcy.
Afraid of spirits hunting your booty? Don't be. Try Blackwater's Ghost Repellent. Guaranteed to banish specters, phantoms, and even meddlesome in-laws. Available now at all reputable pirate markets.
Ahoy there, me fearless listeners. Tonight, I've brought aboard an expert to help us untangle the web of curses and treasures. Allow me to introduce Dr. Eleanor Graves, archaeologist extraordinaire and a scholar of cursed artifacts. Welcome aboard, Doctor.
Thank you, Captain Jeb. It's a pleasure to be here. The allure of cursed treasures is one of history's most fascinating phenomena. These objects often intertwine tragedy, superstition, and human greed in ways that captivate the imagination.
Indeed, Doctor. Tell me this. What makes a treasure cursed, in your learned opinion? Is it the treasure itself, or is it the deeds that surround it?
An excellent question, Captain. In my research, I've found that curses are more often tied to the context in which the treasure was created or hidden. For instance, items plundered from sacred sites or seized through treachery often carry tales of misfortune. Whether it's supernatural or psychological, the perception of a curse is potent enough to shape history.
Speaking of cursed treasures, let's dive into the infamous Hope Diamond. What can ye tell us about it, Doctor?
The Hope Diamond, a stunning blue gem weighing over 45 carats. It's said to have originated in India, where it was reportedly stolen from a sacred idol. Over the centuries, it changed hands many times, leaving a trail of misfortune. King Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette owned it before their executions. Subsequent owners faced ruin instantly and untimely deaths. Some say it's merely coincidence, but one can't deny the chilling pattern.
Aye, sounds like the sea itself. Beautiful, but full of peril. If ye had your hands on that cursed bauble, Doctor, what did ye do?
I'd study it with great care, but ultimately I believe such objects belong where they were taken from. The sea or the earth often has a way of restoring balance.
Now, Doctor, I've heard whispers of another tale. The Uluburun shipwreck. Enlighten us, if ye will.
Certainly, Captain. The Uluburun shipwreck, discovered off the coast of Turkey, dates back to the late Bronze Age. It carried an incredible cargo: copper, glass, and ceremonial objects. But here's the twist. Many of the artifacts bore inscriptions invoking divine protection, almost as if the sailors feared the wrath of the gods. Some researchers believe the ship may have sunk due to a curse invoked to protect its treasures.
Imagine that, sailing the high seas with a cargo so cursed, even Neptune himself wouldn't let ye pass. If ye were aboard that ship, Doctor, would ye have dared to touch its cargo?
I'd have investigated, Captain. But curiosity is a powerful force. The more we uncover, the more we risk unleashing unintended consequences.
Now, mates, let's steer our course to Egypt, where tombs guard their treasures and their curses with jealous zeal. Doctor, regale us with the tale of the Mummy King.
The Mummy King's tomb, rumored to belong to a lesser-known pharaoh of the Old Kingdom. When it was unearthed in the 19th century, several members of the excavation team fell ill. Others met untimely ends. Locals warned of a curse, but skeptics pointed to ancient bacteria or toxins sealed within the tomb. Was it science or sorcery? That's the enduring question.
Question indeed, Doctor. My own belief is that it matters little whether it be science or sorcery. Either way, it leaves a mark. If ye found yourself facing the Mummy King's tomb, what'd be your first move?
I'd proceed with caution, Captain. Every tomb holds secrets, but not all are meant to be uncovered.
Now, mates, it's time to let ye chime in. Have ye a question for Dr. Graves? Call in now and let's see what ye have to say. First up, we've got a caller from New Orleans. You're on the air, mate.
Ahoy, Captain. Dr. Graves, what's the strangest cursed artifact you've ever come across? Excellent question. I once studied an ancient Greek vase said to bring ill fortune to anyone who drank from it. Oddly enough, every museum curator who handled it reported bizarre accidents. One broke his leg, another lost her job. Coincidence? Perhaps. But it's one artifact I'd rather admire from a distance.
Spoken like a true adventurer, Doctor. Next caller, this one's from Edinburgh. What's your query, lad?
Dr. Graves, do you think these curses can ever be broken? An excellent question. Many cultures believe curses can be lifted through rituals or by returning the item to its rightful place. It's a reminder that respecting history and its mysteries is key to avoiding misfortune.
Wise words indeed. Thank ye, callers, for your fine questions. Dr. Graves, it's been a pleasure having ye aboard. Your tales have stirred the imagination and given us plenty to ponder.
Thank you, Captain. It's been an honor. May the mysteries of the sea continue to inspire and intrigue.
Aye, that they will. Farewell, Doctor, and safe travels till our paths cross again. As for the rest of ye, stay tuned. More tales of cursed treasures await on the horizon. Ahoy, me hearties, it be time to delve into the depths of the written word. Letters sent in by brave souls with tales of cursed treasures, deadly fortunes, and the dark mysteries of the deep. Let's see what treasures or curses lie in wait tonight. Our first missive comes from a fair lass named Clara in Charleston. Let's see what fate's cruel hand dealt her family. Dear Captain Jeb, years ago, my great-uncle Henry returned from a trip to Egypt with a brilliant blue sapphire the size of an egg. He claimed it came from the tomb of an ancient queen, though he wouldn't say how he got it. From the moment he brought it home, strange things started happening. The air around the stone always felt colder, and we'd hear whispers in empty rooms where it was kept. Ah, Clara, your uncle may have brought back more than a gem. Sounds like he stirred the wrath of some ancient queen, aye? Whispers in the dark? That'd be a sign of spirits unsettled. Uncle Harry started acting different. He became paranoid, convinced someone was watching him. He claimed to see a shadowy figure at the edge of his vision, no matter where he was. One night he barricaded himself in his study, shouting that the queen was coming for her treasure. The next morning, we found him there, stone cold and lifeless, the sapphire clutched in his hand. By Davy Jones' locker, that be a grim fate indeed. Let that be a lesson to all. If ye pilfer from the dead, they'll come collect the toll. Mark me words. We sold the gem to a collector, hoping to be rid of it, but a week later his mansion burned to the ground. The sapphire survived untouched in the ashes. They say it's cursed, Captain Jeb, and I believe them. Beware treasures that glow too brightly. Sincerely, Clara. Ah, Clara, a stone so beautiful it hides death in its gleam. A chilling tale indeed. Thank ye for sharing, lass. May your family steer clear of such treasures in the future. Our next letter hails from Samuel in Tampa. He's got a tale about a cursed compass. Let's see where this story points us, hey? Ahoy, Captain Jeb. I've always been fascinated by pirate legends. And when I came across a rusted old compass at an estate sale, I had to have it. The seller claimed it belonged to none other than Captain Redbeard himself. I thought it was just a tall tale until I brought it home. Ah, Samuel, ye never trust a trinket that claims lineage to a pirate as famous as Redbeard. That compass likely steered more than ships, and might have steered souls to their doom. At first, I thought it was harmless enough. The compass didn't even work. It spun wildly no matter how I held it. But then the nightmares started. Every night I dream of being on a sinking ship, surrounded by fire and the screams of sailors. Nightmares, eh? That compass be carrying the screams of the damned. The sea never forgets, mate, and it rarely forgives. I finally threw the compass into the ocean, hoping to end the curse. But sometimes when I walk along the shore, I swear I see it washed up in the waves, waiting for me. Yours truly, Samuel. A cursed compass that won't stay lost? That'd be a tale for the ages, Samuel. If you see it again, I'd advise ye to keep walking. Fast. Thank ye for sharing your harrowing tale. And now, mates, we have a letter from Isabella in Veracruz. She's got a tale about an idol and an ill-fated treasure hunt. Let's hear what secrets it holds. Dear Captain Jeb, this story has haunted my family for generations. My grandfather was a treasure hunter who spent years searching for the fabled Golden Isle of Isla Muerta. Legends say the idol was cursed by an ancient shaman to protect it from thieves. An ancient shaman's curse, ye say? That's the kind of protection gold can buy, when coin be scarce and spirits be plentiful. When he finally found it, he ignored the warnings carved into the temple walls. He brought the idol home, but almost immediately strange misfortunes began. The family farm was hit by a plague of locusts, our livestock sickened, and my grandfather himself fell ill with a fever no doctor could cure. Ye never ignore warnings on a temple wall. Them ancient tongues speak truths written in blood and stone. After that, my grandmother buried it in the woods. She said she could still feel its presence, as if it was calling her to dig it up. Years later, treasure hunters found it anyway. That same night, a hurricane swept through, sinking their boat and taking the idol back to the depths. No one's seen it since, but some say it's still out there, waiting for its next victim. Sincerely, Isabella. Ah, Isabella, your tale reminds us that some treasures be meant to stay buried. May the idol rest in the deep and trouble no more souls. Thank ye for sharing your family's dark history. And there ye have it, mates. 3 tales of cursed treasures and the folly of mortal greed. Take heed lest ye find yourselves next in line to bear the curse. Keep those letters coming, and may your ink flow true.
Gather around me, hearties, and I'll tell you all a tale of cursed at Black Sand Cove, where the bravest men do pale. The moon was high, the stars stood still, the night was cold as stone, when I sailed into that wicked bay with the gull and her crew alone. Oh, Black Sand Cove, where the shadows grow and the wind howls like the damned, where treasure gleams, but it's not what it seems. Beware the curse at hand. Oh ho, oh ho, the devil calls your name. No gold can buy the soul you lose in Black Sand's deadly game. The beach was dark as midnight's cloak, the air was thick with dread. The waves whispered secrets of the lost and all the dead. We found a chest of gleaming gold and jewels to tempt a king, but the ground beneath began to quake and death began to sing. Oh, Black Sand Cove, where the shadows grow and the wind howls like the damned, where treasure gleams, but it's not what it seems. Beware the curse at hand. Oh ho, oh ho, The devil calls your name. No gold can buy the soul you lose in Black Sand's deadly game. A wraith rose high, its eyes like fire, its voice a ghostly scream. You've stolen from the cursed sands, now drown in your wicked dreams. We fought the storm, the specter's wrath, the sea turned black as night. And one by one my crew went down, swallowed in the fight. With but a handful left alive, we broke free from its grip. The cursed gold we cast away into the briny dip. The wraith let out a haunting cry as the chest sank down below. And we sailed from that forsaken cove where none should dare to go. Black Sand Cove, where the shadows grow and the wind howls like the damned. Where treasure gleams, but it's not what it seems. Beware the curse at hand. Oh ho, oh ho, the devil calls your name. No gold can buy the soul you lose in Black Sand's deadly game. So heed my tale, ye greedy lot, and steer ye clear, I pray. For Black Sand Cove will claim your soul and drag you far away. No gold is worth the price you'll pay, no jewels nor sparkling prize. For in that cursed bay of death, no pirate ever survives. Oh ho, the devil calls your name. Oh ho, Black Sand's deadly game.
Ahoy there, caller! Ye've reached the captain's quarters. What tale of cursed treasure do ye bring to share?
Hi, Captain Jeb. This is Mark from Seattle. I've got a story about a jade amulet my grandfather brought back from a trip to China. He said it was a gift from a merchant, but he didn't mention the warnings that came with it. At first, it seemed like a good luck charm. He won money in card games and found a better job. But then strange things started happening. He began having terrible dreams of being trapped underwater, and he developed this irrational fear of rain. One night during a storm, he said he could hear voices outside the house, whispering in a language he didn't understand. The scariest part happened when I was a kid. My dad found the amulet in an old box and decided to wear it. That night, he woke up screaming, saying he felt like something was pulling him out of bed. We found scratch marks on the floorboards as if he'd been dragged. After that, my mom threw it in the lake behind our house. The nightmares stopped, but sometimes we hear those whispers near the water when it rains.
A jade amulet with a hunger for souls, eh? A chilling tale, lad. Sounds like the merchant gave your grandpa more than he bargained for. Thanks for calling, Mark. May the whispers stay far from your shores. Next up, we've got another brave soul ready to share their tale. Caller, you're on with Captain Jeb. Spill the beans, or the cursed booty, as it were.
Hi, Captain. This is Sarah from Galveston. My story's about a silver cutlass my uncle found when he was diving near a wreck off the Texas coast. It was beautiful. Ornate carvings on the blade, and it practically shimmered in the light. He was so proud of it, he hung it over his mantle. But after he brought it home, things started going downhill. His business failed, his health took a nosedive, and his wife left him. He became obsessed with the sword, saying it was calling to him. One night I stayed over, and I swore I heard someone walking around downstairs. I went to check, and there he was, sitting in front of the sword, muttering to himself. He finally told me he'd been having visions of pirates fighting over it, killing each other for it. He believed it was cursed by one of the men who died trying to claim it. He sold it to a collector, but get this, the buyer died in a freak accident a week later. We've never seen the sword again.
Ah, cutlass thirsty for blood and ruin. A deadly prize indeed, lass. Thank ye for sharing. May your family steer clear of cursed blades in the future. Ahoy, caller! What tale of cursed coinage do ye bring?
This is George from Savannah. I've got a story about Spanish gold my father found while fishing in the Gulf of Mexico back in the 1950s. He and a buddy pulled up a net filled with coins and a small gold crucifix. They were thrilled at first, but that didn't last. First, the boat's engine died and they had to paddle back to shore. When they got home, their house caught fire that very night. My dad said he started having nightmares about drowning and being chased by shadows on the water. His buddy wasn't so lucky. He died in a car crash just a few weeks later. Dad was convinced the coins were cursed, so he tried to get rid of them. He buried them in the yard, but even that didn't work. Strange things kept happening. Sickness, accidents, bad luck. Finally, he took them back to the coast and threw them into the water. The nightmare stopped, but he always said he could still feel the weight of the curse, like it had marked him.
Aye, George, greed be a cruel master. Sounds like your father learned the hard way that some treasures belong to the sea. Thanks for sharing such a dark tale of gold and grief. You're on with Captain Jeb. What cursed trinket haunts your past caller?
Hi, Captain Jeb. This is Lila from San Diego. My grandmother used to tell me about a pearl necklace she inherited from her great aunt. It was supposed to be a family heirloom, but everyone who wore it seemed to meet a tragic end. Her aunt drowned in a boating accident, her mother died in a fire, and her sister fell ill with a mysterious disease after wearing it. My grandmother kept it locked away, but one day when I was little, I found it in her jewelry box and put it on. I didn't tell her, but that night I woke up with a strange pressure on my chest, like someone was sitting on me. I couldn't move or scream. When I told my grandma the next morning, she turned pale and told me to never touch the necklace again. She took it to a church and had it blessed before burying it in a graveyard. Even now, I sometimes have dreams about the necklace, and I wake up feeling like I can't breathe.
A pearl necklace with a noose a doomie. Lila, that'd be one treasure best left buried. Thanks for sharing your tales, lass. May the dreams fade and the pearls stay in their grave.
On a stormy night, aboard the Bloody Gull, the sea raged as if it too were eager to hear the tales of Captain Jebediah Blackwater. The crew huddled in the galley, the lantern light casting eerie shadows that danced with the swaying of the ship. Captain Jeb, his tricorn hat pulled low, sat at the head of the table, a mug of rum in one hand and the other resting on the hilt of his cutlass. His voice low and gravely cut through the storm's howling.
Listen close, ye lot, for what I'm about to tell ye ain't a tale for the faint of heart. It's a story about greed, curses, and the heavy price a man pays when he meddles with things better left alone. This be the story of the cursed treasure of Black Sand Cove.
The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Tales of Black Sand Cove were whispered in the darkest corners of portside taverns, stories of riches beyond measure, guarded by vengeful spirits.
It began in Tortuga, that den of sin and drink. They were sitting in a tavern called the Gilded Gull, nursing a bottle of rum older than the barmaid serving it, when a scrawny wretch came stumbling in. His clothes were tattered, his eyes wild with fear, and he clutched a leather-bound journal like it were his very soul.
The captain took a long pull from his mug, his gaze distant as he continued.
He sat at me table without so much as an "if ye please," and slapped the journal down. Black Sand Cove, he said, his voice shaken. Riches enough to make a man king, but you'll not want 'em, or they're cursed.
Jeb chuckled darkly, his fingers drumming against the table.
They thought the man mad, but Curiosity's a devil that whispers sweet in a pirate's ear. I took the journal, paid the man a few coins. He refused to touch them, said they'd bring him ruin, and sent him on his way. The map inside was like nothing I'd ever seen. Its landmarks shifting as if the very paper were alive.
The room grew tense as Jeb described the journey.
The Bloody Gull set sail under skies black as tar. The sea were restless, churning like it knew where we were heading. Strange things started happening almost as soon as we hit open water. The compass spun like a drunkard, the winds howled words we couldn't understand, and some of the crew swore they saw figures moving in the waves.
Jeb leaned forward, his voice dropping to a whisper.
By the time we reached Black Sand Cove, even the bravest among us were shaken. The beach was something to behold, black sand glittering under the moonlight like crushed obsidian in starlight. And at the center, half buried in the sand, was the chest. It gleamed like it were calling to us, promising riches beyond our wildest dreams.
He slammed his mug on the table, causing some of the crew to jump.
But there ain't no such thing as free gold. We opened the chest, and it were full. Coins, jewels, and a strange black mirror that seemed to drink the light. The moment we touched it, the sea screamed, and the spirits came.
The crew leaned in as Jeb described the horrors that followed.
They rose from the waves, pale as moonlight, and with eyes that burn like the devil's own. These weren't men, they were something worse, bound to the treasure they'd stolen in life. Their voices were a cacophony of curses, their touch cold enough to freeze a man's soul.
Jeb's voice grew thick with emotion.
Me quartermaster, Silas, grabbed the black mirror thinking it might be the key to stopping them. But the moment he touched it, he fell dead, his eyes black as pitch. The spirits closed in and we fought like hellions. But how do ye kill what's already dead?
He paused, his knuckles white as he gripped the table's edge.
I ordered the chest closed and buried deep in the black sand, hoping it'd appease the spirits. But they weren't letting us go easy. One by one, me crew fell, their screams echoing through the cove. By the time we reached the Bloody Gull, there were only 5 of us left.
The crew shuddered as Jeb's voice softened, his eyes dark with the weight of his choices.
We sailed out of that cursed place with the spirits wailing in our wake. Even now, I hear their cries in the dead of night, reminding me of the lives lost to me greed.
The room fell silent, the only sound the distant rumble of thunder and the creak of the ship.
So mark me words, lads and lasses. If ever ye come across a map leading to Black Sand Cove, burn it. Let the treasure rot with the souls of the damned. Riches ain't worth the weight of your soul.
With that, Captain Jeb leaned back, his tale complete. The crew sat in uneasy silence, the flickering lantern light casting shadows that seemed just a bit darker than before.
Where the shadows creep, where the tales run dark and the secrets sleep, there's a captain bold with a glassy stare, spinning yarns of ghosts in the salty air. With a yo-ho-ho and a pint of rum, beware the seas where the phantoms come. From the depths below to the stars up high, in seas of mystery, I'll give it a try. Storms and the devil's grin, faced cursed ships with the undead within. With a crew of misfits and a map half torn, he hunts the legends where the myths are born. With a yo-ho-ho and a pint of rum, beware the seas where the phantoms come. From the depths below to the stars up high, in seas of mystery, I'll give it a try. whispers of doom, fog-shrouded islands where the ghost lights loom. Captain Jeb's laugh cuts through the fear. Onward she scallywags, the truth be near. With a yo-ho-ho and a pint of rum, beware the seas where the phantoms come. From the depths below to the stars up high, in seas of mystery, oh give it a try. So hoist the sails and bring your grit. With Captain Jeb there's no quitting it. The seas are wild, the legends untold. Set course for mystery, be brave, be bold. Yo-ho-ho, let's set sail tonight with Captain Jeb and his ghostly light.
Ah, me loyal crew, what a voyage we've had tonight. We've delved into the shadowy depths where treasures gleam but bring naught but woe. From the cursed hordes of Oak Island to the haunting whispers of the Mummy King, we've walked a fine line between fortune and folly. Let it be a lesson to us all. Riches be worth little if they take more than they give. But before we set sail for the horizon, I'd like to share some parting thoughts with ye. Every legend and every curse, it's more than just a tale. It's a mirror, showing us our own greed, our own fears, and our own courage. A cursed treasure, hey, it's a warning from those who've come before us. Perhaps the real curse be forgetting their lessons. Now, before I sign off, let's hear from some of ye. We've got a letter here from a listener in Bristol. Let's see what they've to say. Captain Jeb, your stories give me goosebumps and make me think twice about chasing gold for gold's sake. My gran always said, if it gleams too bright, it'll blind ye. Thanks for reminding us that some treasures are better left untouched. Mary in Bristol. Ah, Mary, wise words from your gran indeed. Gold's worth is in the eye of the beholder, but it's the heart that pays the true price. Thank ye for sharing. Let's take one more call before we haul anchor. This one's from a mate in San Diego. You're on the air with Captain Jeb.
Captain, thank you for the tales tonight. I've always wondered, do you think curses can attach themselves to people who hear about them, like through your show?
Ah, now there's a question to make even the bravest sailor shiver. I'd say this. Curses thrive on fear and belief. So if ye don't let them take root in your mind, it'll be fine. But just to be safe, toss a pinch of salt over your shoulder before you sleep tonight. Ahoy, me hearties! As we set course for the horizon tonight, let me whet your appetite for next week's voyage. A journey into the heart of one of the most mysterious regions on the globe. The Bermuda Triangle. Aye, the Devil's Triangle as some call it. Where ships vanish without a trace, planes disappear from the sky, and compasses spin like a drunken sailor on shore leave. What's behind these strange vanishings? Could it be magnetic anomalies, violent waters, or something far more sinister? Some say the triangle hides ancient technology left by the lost city of Atlantis. Others whisper of extraterrestrial portals and time warps. Whatever the truth may be, there's no denying the eerie tales told by those brave or unlucky enough to sail its waters. Next week, we'll delve into these mysteries with stories from survivors, theories from experts, and perhaps even a few spooky letters from listeners like yourselves. If you've got a tale of your own about the triangle, or a question that's been nagging at your mind, be sure to send it to your own Captain Jeb. Tonight, as we weigh anchor and set sail back to calmer waters, I leave ye with this thought. Treasures come in many forms. Some gleam like gold, others are the friendships forged on the high seas, the stories we share, and the lessons we carry in our hearts. A cursed treasure, mates, is but a reflection of the greed that created it. But remember, ye've the power to break any curse by choosing kindness over cruelty, curiosity over plunder, and wisdom over folly. So keep your compass true, your heart brave, and your soul free from the chains of greed. This be Captain Jeb signing off, wishing ye calm seas and fair winds. Until next we meet, safe travels, me hardy crew, fair winds and following seas to ye all.
What shall we do with Captain Jeb's crew? Shall we do with Captain Jeb's crew? What shall we do with Captain Jeb's crew? The rum runs dry in the morning. Way hey, and up she rises. Way and up she rises. Way hey, and up she rises early in the morning. Send him to swab the ghostly galleon. Send him to swab the ghostly galleon. Send him to swab the ghostly galley till the spirits stop their mourning. Way hey, and up she rises. Way and up she rises. Way hey, and up she rises early in the morning. Tie him to the mast when the kraken's thrashing. Tie him to the mast when the kraken's thrashing. Tie him to the mast when the kraken's thrashing, and hope they don't go swimming. Way hey, and up she rises. Way and up she rises. Way hey, and up she rises early in the morning. Feed him to the gulls if they steal my treasure. Feed him to the gulls if they steal my treasure. Feed him to the gulls if they steal my treasure, and I'll be laughing, roaring. Way hey, and up she rises. Way and up she rises. Way hey, and up she rises early in the morning. But if they fight, I'll share me plunder. If they fight, I'll share me plunder. If they fight, I'll share me plunder with grog and gold adorning. Way hey, and up she rises. Way and up she rises. Way hey, and up she rises early in the morning. So raise your cups to Captain Jeb's crew. Raise your cups to Captain Jeb's crew. Raise your cups to Captain Jeb's crew and sing this song till